Hello everyone, welcome to another Narc Survivor live video on my YouTube channel where I post videos of, or rather about, narcissistic abuse to help victims and survivors to understand what they've been through, and so that they can move past it and into a healthier and happier situation or environment. And then in this video, I'm going to be talking about how the narcissist feels when you're gone. Before I begin, please give this video a thumbs up down below, as it will help the YouTube algorithm and it will help to get this very important message out there for other survivors to see it. Many of you may see these pictures on social media. The narcissist always has to flaunt certain things, especially their new supply. They really want you to see it. They want you to think that they are happy in some new situation without you. This is what every narcissist wants their victim to believe. And that should be really obvious, because just look at how they set up the situation in a way where they've got to have you on their stuff. They've got to leave you observing their life. And of course, the way that they do that is they might discard you, leave you without any closure, without an explanation, so that you're looking for answers. So then they already know you're going to look to their social media to see where they went, what they're doing, who they're with, and to try to figure out why they left. And it's just a setup so that when you go on there, you see them with their new supply and it looks like they're having a great time without you. Because the abuse never ends. You think you were abused a lot in the relationship, but they've got more waiting for you when the relationship ends as well. Where they try to punish you by using their new supply to triangulate with you. So it looks like they're happy. They're having a great time. Without you, they've moved on. They don't need you now. They have a better life. They've found a better person. Or so it seems. Because the problem with that narrative, that story, lies in how they behaved while they were with you. Because if you look back and remember what they were doing, remember how they were always so miserable. Remember how they had to abuse you, devalue you, elevate themselves at your expense. Why does a person need to elevate themselves at another person's expense? They can only do that if they are beneath you. And they're using you as a stepping stone so that they can climb higher emotionally and vibrationally. So that should already tell you, or rather reveal to you, their state of mind, their emotional state. It should reveal to you that even in your darkest moments, when you were really going through it and they were putting you down, you may have felt miserable yourself during that time. But how you felt in that moment was nothing compared to how they felt. Which is why they were still using you as a stepping stone to elevate themselves. They are shame-based people who are doing everything they can to avoid reflecting on their shame. So they're constantly trying to deflect it onto you, but it just continues to eat away at them. Everything they do, every negative action, it's because they feel miserable. That's why people behave negatively, where they are trying to take something away from you, even if it's just your happiness and contentment. They're trying to do that because they are operating from the lower vibrations, lower level of emotions. That is what results in negative behavior. There is no such thing as a happy person who feels the need to manipulate or abuse anyone. When you're happy, you just openly want to speak the truth because you want to make sense of things. You want to resolve things. You want things to be better. You want people to be happy. Narcissists are all about covering up and hiding the abuse. They're all about covert manipulation, insulting you, putting you down, which are all negative behaviors because they are miserable. And they're of a very low energy. So they're trying to extract energy from you. They're trying to extract their narcissistic supply. Because they're of a very low consciousness. They're like zombies. They're barely even alive. They're barely even a person. And in fact, in my previous videos, I've said narcissists are not even like real people. And I've had relationships that lasted several years with narcissists. And I just felt like the entire time that I was dealing with them, it's like I'm not even talking to a real person. It's like a robot, an AI. It's like they're not even there in the mind. The lights are on, but no one is home. And I think a lot of that, it's not just because they're very negative, pessimistic, they're of a very low vibration. They're shame-based people who are doing everything they can to avoid reflecting on their shame. It's not just that. It's also because they lack effective empathy. So they're unable to share another person's feelings or experience, which kind of leaves them trapped in a world of their own. They're unable to reach anyone to connect to them, and you're unable to reach them. Which is why no matter what, it's like there's always a disagreement. There's always a misunderstanding. There's always miscommunication. They always see you as a threat, to someone who's trying to attack them. Because there's really never a bond, a tie, a connection between you and them. It never exists. It never occurs. That's not even possible. All they can do is read into your emotions. Because they're predators. They're very good at sensing your energy, your emotional state. And any time that they're seeing you climbing up emotionally, it reminds them of what they're missing. And then they begin to envy you. They envy your happiness, your peace, your contentment. So then they've got to bring you down so that they can elevate themselves at your expense. And by knowing this, it should reveal to you that no matter what, where they go or who they're with, they're always going to be the exact same way. They're going to be doing the same things they did to you to other people. They're going to be trying to elevate themselves at other people's expense as well. Although it may not be in the exact same way, they tailor make these characters to specific people. Whatever they think is going to work for whatever person they're dealing with. So it might be something with you helps them to feel better at your expense. They might not do that same thing as someone else. They could do something else instead. It's just whatever works. But it's always negative. It's always taking something away from your feelings or experience, because that is how they elevate themselves. But even then, they can never experience happiness. I mean, if they could, they would never do the things that they do. They would never manipulate, abuse, or behave negatively. A happy person does not feel the need to do that. They can just be normal. They can be open and honest with you. They don't have to bring you down. And in fact, just any normal person, even if they're feeling down, they're unhappy, they might just confide in you about it. They might just tell you that they're not feeling too good so that you can comfort them. The narcissist isn't even going to do that because they already know it's not going to work for them that way. They already know that if they come to you, confide in you, and you comfort them, the only thing that's going to happen is that's going to bring you satisfaction as an empath, to know that you are being of service to them, you're helping them. And then they're going to envy that. And then it's going to make them feel even worse. So all they can really do is seek to bring you down. And even when it looks like they're in a new relationship, they're just triangulating you with that person because they can't find fulfillment in anything. They have to live vicariously through other people. So even when they've got their new supply, they have to try to make you envious or jealous, to make you feel like you're missing out, because that's how they get their supply. That's their idea of fun. That's their idea of happiness. Because many of them suffer from sadistic personality disorder as well. So they find pleasure in your pain and distress. But even then, it's not the type of pleasure that we experience. They can never reach that level of happiness. And that's really why they do what they do. So of course, once you're gone, whether they discard you or you leave them, they just go back to feeling miserable. They just go back to having to abuse people, put them down, so that they can stay afloat emotionally. But don't mistake that with happiness. They do not experience happiness. They never get that emotion. It may look like they're elevated at times, but what that actually is, when they're hurting you, when they're abusing you, they're just experiencing temporary relief from their shame by deflecting it onto you. So that's not happiness. Even when you see the narcissistic smirk, it looks like they're smiling. They're not really happy. That's just a temporary relief from their pain. That's all that is. So don't think that they've just gotten away with it and they've moved on, found someone else, and they could just forget about you. It doesn't work that way. And in fact, I found evidence that the things they do, it comes back to haunt them. The shame carries with them, even if they're not conscious of it. It stays in their body. Everything they do to you, it actually affects them far more than it affects you. There's studies, there's research that proves that in fact, people who bully, this includes narcissists, of course, they're at the risk a risk of 10 to 25 times more than their victim of developing a psychiatric condition, among many other things, such as, if they haven't already, developing narcissistic personality disorder, sociopathy, psychopathy, among many other conditions as well. So their story, their narrative, it just doesn't connect. It doesn't add up. There is no such thing. There's no such possible outcome of someone manipulating, abusing, deceiving, harming another person, and then just running off and being happy, whether it's on their own or with their new supply. That's impossible. They walk away, yes, they leave with a 10 to 25 times risk more than you of developing a psychiatric condition, among many other illnesses, and the shame that will haunt them for the rest of their lives, and just endless misery. So that's how it turns out for them. And they continue to try to distract themselves. They continue to seek relief from their emotional pain by finding new victims and abusing them. So as you can imagine, just perpetuates everything that they are trying to run away from. And this is why they come after us. This is why it's us running away from them. Because they're the ones with the problem. We're the ones who can attend to ourselves and heal. We do not need an external regulator. When they are away from us, they go back to feeling miserable. When we are around them, we feel miserable. But as soon as we get away from them, it's like finally we can breathe. We feel happy. And they know that, which is why they often come back to hoover us. That's why they stalk and harass us. That's the whole purpose of the smear campaign. Is to try to keep you down. Because they already know once they're not around you, your life goes back to normal. You can experience happiness. You can experience everything that they can't, everything that they never will. So the only thing they can do, which relieves that emotional pain, is to try to hold on to you for dear life and never let you go. But even then, that perpetuates their psychiatric condition, just makes matters worse for them. And it just gets worse and worse the older they get. They develop more bitterness and resentment. It's horrible to be around a narcissist in old age. They are never happy. They're always just so negative and miserable. Horrible company to have. So no, they're not moving on. They're not happy. They're not living their best lives. They're not doing any of that. They've not found fulfillment in a new relationship with a new supply. It just doesn't happen. It never happens. It never will. The only one who can move on and find happiness and fulfillment is us. We are the ones that can heal. We are the ones that can regulate ourselves. We are the ones who can be happy, whether it's alone or with someone else. That's why it's them who envy us. And we are the ones who are always trying to fix things for them and make them happy. But no matter what you, I, or anyone else does, it's never going to be enough. They're always going to be the same. And in fact, the older they get, the worse they get. So that's it. That's what happens when you're gone. That's how they feel. That's what they go through. If this video was helpful for you, you can show your support by giving it a thumbs up down below. It's very important as it helps the YouTube algorithm and it will get this message out there. You can also let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I do read your comments every day. Hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon so that you will receive notifications for my future videos. And if you would like to book a one-on-one coaching session with me, you can do that on my website. It's narcsurvivor.co.uk. And also don't forget to follow me on Instagram. It's Narc Survivor YouTube. I've got new pictures and videos of my travels every day on there. You can also send me a message as well if you want to. I will respond. Again, thank you all for joining me. And I look forward to talking with you in another one very soon.